Oh, my knee. Always popping and clicking. Well, if you don't have a Chipotle bag in your hand that's making the noise, what does popping and clicking and all those noises in your knee mean? Is it a bad thing? Does it mean you're getting old? Does it mean that you're a 25-year-old in a 60-something-year-old's body? No, probably doesn't mean that. And do you need to be worried about it? Well, I'll get into those things because this is something that people commonly ask me in my office. So a lot of times the big question for me as a provider is it pathological? Is there a problem? Is there an injury present that the popping and clicking is related to? And the main thing that popping and clicking in the knee can be related to injury-wise is your meniscus. You have two of them. They're the cartilage in between your thigh bone and your lower leg shin bone area. And those things, when they get injured, can make some popping and clicking because the cartilage surface gets disrupted. And that can kind of cause some of that. But usually that comes on with pain. There could be swelling present. There may or may not have been like an acute incident where something actually hurt your knee or you had trauma. But also it usually presents with some kind of locking or a feeling of like not being able to fully bend and straighten the knee. So usually you'll have kind of a feeling of like limit in your knee or it'll just lock out on you. So if those things are all present with the popping and clicking, then you should be concerned about it a little bit because it might be a meniscus injury. If you don't have any of the pain with popping and clicking, it's probably not a problem. Could it be that some of your knee cartilage is wearing down a little bit? Maybe. Could it be a snapping tendon? Maybe. But those are things that you probably don't need to worry about a ton. Snapping tendons don't really necessarily lead to injured tendons. And sometimes there's just some little air bubbles in your joints that are just making some noises as they move around or are getting popped. So that could also be a thing too. Most of the time, as long as there's not pain, popping and clicking in the knee is pretty benign. There's a lot of people that do it. Sometimes you also just have a very high patella or knee bone that's high up on your knee joint, and it'll just make a little bit more noises because it's going to slide more. So that's also something that could be happening. I have a pretty high patella, and I've been told that might be one of the reasons for mine. So general idea, if it's not painful, you don't need to worry. If it's not accompanied with any history of trauma, then I wouldn't worry about it. And then also, if there's no locking of the knee joint or restriction in movement of either bending or flexing, then I also wouldn't worry about it. If you're somebody who notices that you do it more when you're squatting or when you're doing super active things, like one day you went and ran 17 miles through the hills and now your knee's popping a lot more, that's actually probably just because you don't have good control through your body and its motor systems. And oftentimes, oddly enough, I've had people kind of control their core and breathing and their knee popping and clicking has gone away with squatting. There's a lot of different reasons why and things that you could try, but I've had that happen enough times that sometimes it's just your motor control and your coordination as well. So doesn't mean you're getting old, doesn't mean your knees are screwed or you have bad knees, because people think that all the time, but if it's not painful and none of those other things are present, I wouldn't worry too much. I hope this was helpful for some of you guys. If you have any more questions about knee pain, hit the subscribe button. Thank you.